we're gonna clean the rabbit enclosure. There's some holes from ground squirrels and stuff getting in, so we're gonna fill that, clean that up. What am I missing? Oh, the ponds. I emptied those this morning, so we're basically gonna be scrubbing those, cleaning those out. And then depending on time, we'll probably start pulling out some of the...
My name is Rachel O'Neill, and this is Nick O'Neill. And we are the co-founders and executive directors of Second Street Hooligans Rescue.
Specifically, we're a farm rescue, farm animal rescue. So I think when most people think of rescue, they think of dogs and cats, but we deal with them all, right? Pigs, goats. We've had sheep, bunnies, chickens, ducks, geese. I'm sure I'm missing some in there, but dogs and cats as well. The very first animals that we took in, right, were these two chickens that were on Craigslist, and they were up for free. It kind of got us going, like, oh, that would be cool if we, adopted a couple goats and pigs, and kind of it went from there, right? We took in a few different animals, and there was still no idea of like, hey, let's start a sanctuary. It was just we'll help out. It kind of just like blossomed into this thing that we would have never thought. And obviously I don't think we ever thought it was going to get to this point where it's at now, 60 plus animals. I mean, we've worked with, I would say, hundreds of animals, whether that's transport, foster, in our care.
Come on, Kaden, let's come out. Good boy.
We had a few people that would volunteer, but it was just like, yeah, come on whatever day. Like, I mean, we'll figure it out.
The volunteer program and the open houses, that very much just came out of our longtime volunteer, Danette, being willing to take on that role of volunteer coordinator.
I go to board meetings. I help with decisions on like budgets and fundraisers and planning days like this, the group days, the open houses and things like that. And then volunteer coordinator. I coordinate all of our volunteers that come on a weekly basis. I get them on the calendar. I set up their days that they're coming and things like that. And I just communicate. I'm kind of like the middle person for Nick and Rachel. I was like the only volunteer. So now, like a year later, they asked me to be the volunteer coordinator, and then I kind of built up the volunteer base from there. And now I have, I want to say like a dozen volunteers on my roster right now.
Shortly after things started opening up, we met a lot of great people, and it started to really create that community.
Come on in. And yeah, I mean, honestly, just like raking the surface layer, because I don't want to throw away too much of the mulch, right? Yeah. So just getting that surface layer. And if you find trash and stuff like that too, if you don't mind grabbing that.
Water spray. Here's this guy.
As we're growing still, now we have, some vet students and things like that are helping with medications. They're handling that portion, whereas before it would have been one of us, right?
My name is Haley. This is Frank. And I go to UC Irvine to study biology, and I would like to work in the veterinary field, so I started volunteering here to get some hours in. Nick has been teaching me how to do more animal care, so I've been helping with the like a cold laser for the ducks because they have like mobility problems, so it helps like break up the cells in their joints. I do a lot of the cleaning and stuff too. I've given a little bit of meds. I can do pretty much anything around here. Nick and Rachel are like the sweetest people ever, and they're so willing to teach me things because I had mentioned that I want to do veterinary stuff, and then Nick texted me and said, oh, if you want me to teach you like any of the other stuff. So whenever he has like bigger projects like trimming the goat's hooves and stuff, he asked me to help with that.
We don't want to overburden ourselves and have it negatively impact the animals that we do take in. We want the animals who live here to like have space and have everything that they need, and there's never like an end to it. You always know there's going to be more animals that need help, and there's going to be more people asking you to help them than you could possibly help ever, and it's like a really not great feeling that you are constantly like dealing with.
It's so much more than just them having a place where they're not going to get slaughtered or whatever the case may be, We've
taken in 3 like meat turkeys, like turkeys that are bred specifically for like meat production. We took in one guy, Cornelius, and he was just so...
It was huge.
His body was just so unnatural.
Yeah.
Like, and it got to a point he couldn't stand up, he couldn't walk, he would
Shallow
just
breathing.
lay on the ground and be like desperately flapping his wings, trying to stand up, trying to be able to move, tearing his wings up. And it was just so like devastating to watch. You can't even like give him a good life because his body has just been, they've just created this breed that is solely for this one purpose. And it's like, even if you get the chance to like try and rescue this, you know, turkey or give it like a second life, it just ended like so awfully. You're here in this to like help animals and give them a life, and then you get to the point where you're just like, ugh, this life that they're living is just suffering. Like, it's just a life of...
Yeah, and we're trying to create the
Suffering.
complete opposite of that here, right?
Yeah.
Since we're in the world of helping these farm animals live out their lives, right? There's not a lot of guidelines for that because most farm animals are raised for food, for production, right?
These animals just typically aren't thought of as like worth investing in because people just see them as, oh, they're just, it's a commodity. It's something to like be made money off of.
So it's like, hey, if an animal has a problem, all right, we'll send them to slaughter. Well, for us, we see a problem, right? And we're like, okay, how do we adjust this problem? Alonzo is one of our goats here. And the very first couple days we had him, like all four legs had issues. And very quickly we got his back legs functioning, you know, and working better. But his was a long process to be able to walk again. Little by little, you know, seeing him stand out of his cart in his little stilts almost, right? Just like standing there, and then seeing him take his first step. It was in the middle of the workday, and I don't know why, but I was just sitting there and I was like, this goat is going to walk today. Like, I could feel it, you know? That was huge for us, you know, that was drastic.
So loud.
Thing is like, wow, buddy. Can we keep going?
The starting point for people is to get them here and have them just see these animals in a different way and just connect with them on a personal level. And can you know, create a bond with a pig?
I think he's trying to eat the mic.
We just want you to see how great these animals are and let people know like the reality that these types of animals face outside of a place like this.
At some point we had to realize, you know, that this isn't just some like backyard hobby, right? Yeah, we live here and it is in our backyard. But, you know, it's like as it grew, it's like, oh no, this is a real thing. Like this is a real organization that has real goals, and there's real people donating money and their time, and you have to honor that. You know, you have to respect that.
Just like the whole place getting started, it's really been driven by others outside. And when you ask how did it like even become a thing, we wanted to adopt these animals, and we did. And then, oh, can we come over and visit the farm? Oh, can we come over and bring the kids they want to see the animals? Oh, can we come over? And it was like, oh, people care about what they're doing. People want to support us. People want to come. And that's when, you know, again, it was other people saying like, oh, you're already doing this thing. Why don't you just make it official? This is not a full-time job for us. Like, we're not paid. No one's
who
paid
does
from
the
this
organization
is paid.
I mean, people just want to help. You know, they want to be a part of the mission, which is great. We obviously didn't actively like jump in, like we said before, like doing this work. But you know, over time, I feel very honored to be able to work with animals in need. For me personally, in my younger life, you know, I battled with a lot of things, specifically like anger and issues like that. And I think sitting with animals that have come from a from a tough background helped me to slow down in a lot of scenarios. And I don't always have the time to just sit out there and hang with them. But when I do, it's like a therapy I can't describe, you know, and I'm not the only one that said that here. We've had plenty of people who have said they left and they came here sad and they left on such a happy note. I'm super thankful, you know, that we somehow were the ones that ended up doing it. And yeah, I just look forward to hopefully helping out many more animals and the ones that are already here for a lot longer.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Should have interviewed him.
I'm a dog. What do you have to say? What do you have to say, Frank?
Look what they do to me here. Oh my goodness.